Welcome back to Rogers, Arkansas. This is the Walmart Open on FLW Outdoors. And guys, in the first 3 events of this season, it seems like our 10 finalists at each event have had to endure some tough weather on days 3 and 4. But it was the exact opposite here on Beaver Lake. Beautiful weather was the reward for the anglers who made the cut this time.
Yeah, we started out really cold. Fog delay on day 2, but weather got great. But the wind died, made it a lot tougher for some of the patterns that work, and these fishermen had to adapt every single day.
And success in pro fishing is about making adjustments and adjusting to changing conditions. These 10 on stage did it best. And then today, more beautiful weather, more blue skies. That's a factor as well.
We started out with a full field, and just 10 guys made this cut. How'd they do it?
Yeah, 175 to begin things, and now these 10 on stage, your finalists, somebody will raise a check for $200,000, but the first 2 days are the key. They must get past days 1 and 2 to make it here. Here's a look back at what happened on days 1 and 2 on Beaver Lake.
Open. Day 1.
When there's a $200,000 first place check, 30 degrees doesn't seem that cold, but you still better bundle up to face the challenge of Beaver Lake and the world's best bass anglers.
I think with this temperature drop all of a sudden, I think it's going to be determination and tenacity to get probably a lot of the better bites to get in the boat, hopefully.
Are you a good cold weather fisherman?
No.
We'll see about that. Russ Moran, remember that name, in Boat 1 led the field out. And within minutes, Angler of the Year leader Dan Moorhead was working a crankbait. While across the cove, fellow Evinrude pro Davey Height was the picture of concentration while he threw a jerkbait. Height switched to a deeper presentation right after that, and it produced his first fish. Surprisingly, 1 keeper was all he brought to the scales. How was the rest of the field catching fish? Well, not sight fishing.
Hey, catch yours, Randy.
On the jig, Charlie.
Caught him on a jerk bait. Here's mode 2.
Caught him on a worm.
On a crankbait. On jig head worm.
A little everything.
Little trolling the tackle box.
Sight fishing guru and 2-time Beaver Lake champion Clark Wenlett used several methods to catch his limit, but at 10.5 pounds, it was only good for 29th place.
I caught a limit, but it just wasn't what I'd hoped for.
Land O'Lakes pro Keith Williams stayed with a crankbait all day, and it paid off to the tune of 8th place.
I knew it was going to change up with the weather, as it always does in the springtime, so I just went fishing today. I didn't try to stay in one spot too long, covered a lot of water, and just put my trolling motor down and fished hard.
And remember Sean Stickler, who said he didn't like cold weather fishing? He liked it enough for 13-3 and 6th place. And that football of a spotted bass belongs to Oklahoma's Joel Baker. It came on a crankbait, but a Carolina rig produced 4 nice smallmouth and put him in 2nd place.
You want to find a place where you've got chunk rock about the size of your hand that changes to pea gravel, and right on that line, the smallmouth were laying there.
But the catch of the day came from the man in boat number 1, Russ Moran of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and included 2 fish over 5 pounds.
Got 5 fish here. Check the weight, folks. 17 pounds, 8 ounces, our tournament leader.
And that sack gave Moran a 3-pound lead on the field. Day 1 Snickers Big Bass came from Pete Winters of Galena, Missouri at 5.12.
Walmart Open. Day 2.
It's 7:15 on day 2 at Beaver Lake. Takeoff was scheduled for a half hour ago, but there's fog on the lake, and right now nobody's going anywhere. And it was more than just a little foggy. Somewhere in that pea soup are 175 boats.
So what do you do during a fog night?
Sit here and tell fish stories. Catch up on old times.
I've seen the fog sit here till 11 o'clock in the morning. There's nothing I can do.
This delay lasted until almost 9, so 2 hours of fishing were lost. That, combined with changing weather, kept day 2's bite down. Only 19 limits, compared with 57 the first day. Notable exceptions were Randall Hudson, whose 14 pounds shot him all the way from 86th to the top 10. Dan Moorhead, who qualified for his 3rd final in 4 events. Rick Klun, who made the finals for the 2nd straight time. Scott Martin, with 2 solid stringers to qualify in 2nd place. And leading the way again, Russ Moran, adding 11 more pounds for a two-day total of 28.5 and the top qualifying spot.
So I just started fishing the creeks in the middle of the lake and targeting fish where I thought fish should be staging to spawn. And then when the cold front come in, it got cold. I think that played into my hands. Instead of the fish going shallower, they backed right back to them points, and that's where I found them.
Moran caught his day 2 fish on a crankbait and a jighead worm. Remarkably, he'd never seen Beaver Lake before this event. The rest of your top 10: Aaron Martins, Wesley Burnett, Jim Akins, Jim Moyna, and Rock Monteith. Missing the cut, two-time champion Clark Wendlandt. Day 2's big bass belonged to co-angler Mary Parnell, a 5-pound, 4-ounce mean-mouth bass, a cross between a spot and a smallmouth, and may be the largest ever caught in Arkansas. On the co-angler side, Roy Altman of Augusta, Georgia, had 5 pounds, 4 ounces and won the $40,000 first prize. When we come back, you'll meet our 10 pro finalists.
FLW Outdoors is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. By EverStart Batteries, more power for your money. And by Faded Glory. Welcome back to Rogers, Arkansas, and the Walmart Open. We have 10 finalists on the stage right now, and one of our 10 will hold up a $200,000 check by day's end. As we mentioned before, 175 pros began this tournament. We cut ourselves down to 10 who made what we call the Poland cut. Let's meet our 10 finalists right now. Our first finalist is in his first FLW Top 10. He was the co-angler of the year in 2001, and in his second season in front of the boat, he's looking at his best ever finish. Currently in 10th place from Hot Springs, Arkansas, Wesley Burnett. Our next finalist is a veteran of the EverStart series, competing in his first year on the FLW Tour. Consistent catches of 9 pounds, 3 ounces, and 10.5 earned a slot in his first FLW Top 10. Currently in 9th place from Nixa, Missouri, Jim Akins. Our next finalist is in his 18th FLW Top 10. He's the all-time leader in that category. He's also a 3-time FLW tournament winner with a win right here at the Walmart Open in 2000. He's one of the most recognizable names in the sport. Currently in 8th place from Ava, Missouri, Rick Klun. Finalist finished 12th at last year's Walmart Open. He finished the 2002 campaign ranked 16th in the season standings. His day 2 limit of 11 pounds secured a slot in this, his 4th FLW Top 10. Currently in 7th place from Castaic, California, Aaron Martins. Our next finalist is another former co-angler champion who is seeing success as a pro. He won his first tournament 3 years ago at the age of 24, the youngest ever winner. He's looking for victory number 2 today, currently in 6th place from Clewiston, Florida, Stanley Pro Scott Martin. Our next finalist is in his 6th season on the FLW Tour. This is his 2nd Top 10. His first came earlier this year at Lake Okeechobee. His 5-fish limit yesterday put him in 5th place, just under 6 pounds off the lead. From Columbia, South Carolina, Rock Monteith. Our next finalist is a former FLW tournament winner taking the Forest Wood Open in 1997. His 4 fish for 8 pounds on Friday kept him close to the lead. Currently in 4th place, trailing by 5 pounds, 13 ounces from Carver, Minnesota, Lowry's Pro Jim Moyna. Next finalist is enjoying his best FLW tournament ever in his rookie season. He led after day 1 with 17.5 pounds. He led after day 2 with a total of 28.5 pounds. He's currently in 3rd place, just under 4 pounds off the lead. From Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Russ Moran. Our next finalist finalist is in his 6th year on the FLW Tour. He finished 2nd at last year's Walmart Open, taking home a check for $105,000. Friday's weight of 13 pounds 4 ounces has him currently in 2nd place, just 9 ounces off the lead. From Washburn, Missouri, Randall Hudson. Our final finalist is the current leader in the Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year race and added to his leading margin with this, his 3rd top 10 of the season, 7th in his career. He's a former FLW tournament winner looking for another. He's your leader with a total weight of 13 pounds, 13 ounces from Paducah, Kentucky, Evinrude Pro Dan Moorhead. Ladies and gentlemen, your 10 finalists for the 2003 Walmart Open. When we come back on FLW Outdoors, we will show you how our 10 finalists got to where they are. We'll take you on the water and begin to see some of those amazing fish from Beaver Lake on FLW Outdoors.
Welcome back to FLW Outdoors and day 3 of the Walmart Open, where our 10 finalists who braved the bitter cold of day 1 and survived a 3-hour fog delay on day 2 have been rewarded with beautiful weather here on day 3. We've got a great mix of 10 finalists, including some of the biggest names in the sport. Also, our season points leader, Dan Moorhead. We'll talk to him in just a few moments, but first, Taylor Carr is with one of the rookies, Russ Moran.
This is Russ Moran from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, the leaders after day 1 and 2, and he's got quite a story to tell. 1 week ago, he had never seen this lake. Russ, how can you explain your success here?
I'd say it's just good fortune. It's time for me to change my luck and have some good luck instead of bad.
I imagine it's more than just good luck. How did you find this spot here?
Well, when first day I got here, I just come looking for a main tributary, a creek. And this is the first one I drove up on, and when I got in here, I was just looking for the same thing I would at home, just a pre-spawn staging areas, points, creek points.
Moran's instincts pay off. His second fish comes at 8:40 on a jighead worm, a spotted bass that weighs 2 pounds.
Coming up, ooh wee. Boys, I'd like to bring him around. Net him.
Let's get back to the Weed Eater boat, where Evinrude Pro Dan Moorhead is enjoying a fast start. His 3rd fish comes at 8:44 and gives him 5.5 pounds.
I've just been paralleling these banks, throwing a crankbait, trying to keep the bait about 8 to 10 foot, throwing the bait on light line and just covering water, just stay moving. Now this one I want. I've been denied the last 2, but we're gonna go for this one.
You're fishing better than anybody else has. I mean, 3 top 10s in 4 events. You got a good commanding lead in the Angler of the Year race. A confidence boost all season long.
You know, I wish I knew what it was and I could bottle it and sell it. Life is large right now. I've got, great sponsors standing behind me and my family, my daughter, I enjoy her. I keep saying it. I know it sounds repetitious, but I'm making good decisions. Everything's paying off. I don't know. I'm just going to keep riding it.
Not everyone is catching fish. Approaching 9 a.m., Wesley Burnett, Jim Akins, Rock Monteith, and Jim Moyna are still looking for their first keepers. Back to Russ Moran. He got his 3rd at 8:54.
One's got it. Net. Boy, they're not eating it. They're not hitting it hard. They're just getting it and swimming around with it.
At 9 o'clock, Moorhead's added another keeper and leads with 7.5 pounds, followed by Moran and then Scott Martin.
There's one.
Moorhead isn't wasting any time getting a limit.
He's running at me. I can't tell. He's a pretty good fish. Largemouth. Thanks, sir.
His 5th fish comes at 9:10.
There's number 5, boys.
Dan's plan is working. A slow retrieve on a green and brown man's crankbait, and he's right on time.
10 after 9.
But Moran isn't letting Moorhead run away. He switches back to a crankbait from a jighead worm, and the day 1 and 2 leader boats his 4th keeper.
Dip him.
Now, Russ, based on your practice, did you expect to do as well as 17 pounds on the first day?
No, I didn't. I mean, that surprised me worse than anybody out there. That was them 5 that I weighed in that day was bigger than anything in 4 days of practice. I didn't have 5 that was that big.
Over to Scott Martin, who's about to catch his 3rd keeper.
Well, go in there and catch him.
Searching for stained water, Martin has made the long run east to Clifty Creek, and there he's flipping a half-ounce brown jig.
Net. It's a good one. Well, it's not a real good one, but it's a spot right here. That's a keeper. I think it's a spot, yeah. All right, thank you, Lord. Not a giant fish, but we'll take everything we can today. That hook fell out.
Coming up on FLW Outdoors, more Day 3 action as Scott Martin climbs the leaderboard.
FLW Outdoors is brought to you by Stanley. Make something great. By ShopVac. The only thing more powerful is our name. And by Energizer. Batteries and flashlights. The power to keep going and going.
Spectacular sunny skies on Arkansas's Beaver Lake. This is Day 3 of the Walmart Open. Welcome back to FLW Outdoors. These anglers have had to deal with changing conditions. Day 1, cloudy and cold. Day 2, foggy and cold. And on Day 3, the first day of the finals, warmer and beautiful sunlit skies. The temperatures have reached the 60s, and Stanley Pro Scott Martin is moving, really moving, heading back to the west end of Beaver Lake. On the leaderboard, Martin's still in 3rd, now with 6 pounds in the boat. He's trailing Dan Moorhead and Russ Moran. Then it's Randall Hudson and Jim Moyna. Moyna, fishing out of the Lowry's boat, is about to make a charge up the leaderboard.
There's one.
It's his 3rd fish and comes on a jighead worm to give him 5 pounds. 5 minutes later, and still finesse fishing, Moyna gets into his 4th fish, his best one of the day.
That one you call pregnant right there. Oh, so nice.
Moyna knows about the pressure of fishing for big paychecks. He won the Forest Wood Open in his 1st year on the tour.
It's a 10-person tournament for $200,000. It's like, man, with those kind of odds, you can't afford to not have a little pressure.
What Moyna doesn't know is that he's caught his last keeper of the day. Meanwhile, Missouri pro Jim Akins is just getting started. Flipping a jig as usual, he catches his first 2 fish 2 minutes apart, but they're small spots. Akins will have to improve to stay in the game. That's another Missouri pro with a fish on, Rick Klun, making his record 18th appearance in an FLW top 10. And this was Klun's 3rd keeper. Earlier in the day, he talked to Carlton Wing.
Rick, what's been your key to success so far this week?
Probably my main key has just been staying up in the river, staying away from the ultra clear water. We've had real good conditions for that with the wind and stuff, but I was afraid we'd lose the wind and the clouds. And my problem, though, is that this water up here is actually clearing. It's clearer than I like.
Back across the lake, leader Dan Moorhead is still catching fish on that crankbait. He's on his 9th keeper and has culled his way up to 12.5 pounds. At noon, it's still Moorhead and Moran 1 and 2, with Moyna up to 3rd. But watch out for Randall Hudson. That's him flying along in the Rubbermaid boat. He's coming off a 2nd place finish here last year, and he's from just up the road in Washburn, Missouri. So he can find his way around Beaver Lake upside down. Hudson ends up in Brush Creek, an area he had not fished in practice. But like we said, he knows Beaver Lake. And in the span of 24 minutes, with a jerkbait and a crankbait, he makes a serious run at the leader.
There he is. Fish. Good one, too. Oh, God, there's a good one. Oh, he's a Kentucky. There's a fish. Oh, I believe he's a good one, too.
With 11 pounds in the boat, Hudson needs a quality bite to keep pace with Moorhead. At 222, he gets it.
Fish on.
Fish, Roy.
Good fish, too. He's a good one. I need him. That'll get rid of my livers.
Hudson now has over 13 pounds. He doesn't know it, but he's taken the lead from Moorhead.
That wind's gonna put the fish to biting. Boys down the lake gonna whoop them. They know the right points to get on.
And Moorhead knows. His last fish turns out to be his best fish, and it puts him back in the lead.
Yeah, he doesn't feel that big though. Yeah, you get the net, get the net, get the net. That's a big one. That's a big spot. Ready? Look at there, look at there, look at there. Look at there. There's 15 pounds, boys.
Dan's math was a little bit off. That big spot gives him 13-13 and a slim 9-ounce lead on Hudson. When we come back, Moorhead tries to hold his lead on Beaver Lake.
Welcome back to FLW Outdoors, and we are at the 2003 Walmart Open. Now, our 10 finalists fished yesterday. That was day 3, and some of them have a lead. Dan Moorhead is our leader. 9 others trail him, and Dan Moorhead is a 9-ounce lead over Randall Hudson. Then there's Russ Morgan, Jim Moyna, Rock Monteith. That's 1 through 5. And then we start out with Scott Martin, Aaron Martins, Rick Clunn, Jim Akins, and Wesley Burnett. That is your leaderboard as we stand right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have met the anglers. Now let's meet their fish. Let's begin our shootout style weigh-in right now. Our 10th place person is Wesley Burnett from Hot Springs, Arkansas. He weighed in 2 pounds 9 ounces on day 1. He needs to be able to take the lead to stay in this game, and he will need 11 pounds and 5 ounces to do so. 11.5 is what we're looking from Wesley Burnett.
Burnett couldn't take over the lead and ended his first trip to the top 10 in 10th place, but ended it with a smile.
Tough day out there over the last 2 days, but again, the worst you can do here today is $21,000.
I will take that, Charlie. I want to thank my dad, my mom. They drove in last night and this morning, and my dad made it possible, and my mom has made it possible for me to be here, you know, to do what I've dreamed to do all my life, to fish for a living. I tell you, these sponsors, Walmart, FLW, they just made my dream come true.
Missouri's Jim Akins came up next. Knowing he needed to make up a lot of ground, he switched tactics on day 4, but weighed out in 9th place.
I was on them real well in practice, and the weather got bad, and I left over the weekend and come back, and I think I really just kind of lost my fish. I think they changed on me, and I wasn't able to adjust with them like I should have been. But it's been a great tournament for me.
Rick Clunn completed his 18th top 10 appearance, improving to 7th place. The Minn Kota Pro traveled south, far away from the launch, to find some solitude and, unfortunately for Clunn, clear water.
I love to fish the White River, but I like to fish it under adverse conditions like you saw we had the first couple of days. I like it when that river is a little bit murky, and when these lakes get clear, the weather gets stable, the wind quits. The water got clear on me. It kicks my tail, and that's what it's done the last 2 days. I totally lost my largemouth. I couldn't get back on them. Actually, what you saw me weigh today was all spotted bass, so I probably wouldn't have weighed anything.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have weighed out 3. 7 finalists remain. When we come back on FLW Outdoors, we will troll a little bit closer toward crowning a champion of the 2003 Walmart Open. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
FLW Outdoors is brought to you by Rubbermaid, how life gets organized. By U.S. Bank, home of the 5-star service guarantee. And by Pedigree, healthy, happy dog for life.
Welcome back to Rogers, Arkansas. This is the Walmart Open on FLW Outdoors. In mere moments, one of our finalists will hold up a big check for $200,000. Let's take a look at your leaderboard right now as we stand. Dan Moorhead is still out on top with a total weight of 13 pounds, 13 ounces. He has yet to weigh in. We have yet to see also Randall Hudson. Rick Clunn has weighed out. Russ Moran, Jim Akins. That's your top 5. Then it's Jim Moyna, Rock Monteith, Scott Martin, Aaron Martins, and Wesley Burnett.
When Aaron Martins took the lead, the attention then switched to Scott Martin, who weighed out with a two-day total of just over 11 pounds, good for 8th place and $24,000.
You know, I want to say thank you for the troops that are overseas, you know, fighting this war. You know, they're protecting our freedom, and without those guys, men and women, and a lot of them are younger than me, you know, we wouldn't be able to sit here and do this without them protecting our country and protecting our freedom. So my hat's off to our armed forces.
Rock Monteith brought up 5 fish for 8 pounds, good enough for a short-lived lead, because Minnesota's Jim Moyna was next. The Lowry's pro weighed all 5 of his fish, took the lead, and knocked out Monteith.
Jig headworms on dock. What area of the lake were you in?
About the middle of the lake.
Again, describe to us the amount of weight there and the line size.
I used a little small weight, 3/16 ounce and 6-pound test line.
6-pound test line.
It cost me some this week, but it helped me too.
It cost you some fish, but also probably wouldn't have got as many bites if you hadn't used that light line.
I tried the bigger line and it just wouldn't bite it, Charlie.
You're in really clear water. I can see the foot of that Minn-Kota trolling over there, just like it was sitting out in the open air.
Yeah. Some of the fish were right on the corners of the dock, and some were tucked back under.
Jim Moyna's lead also wouldn't last long. Tennessee rookie Russ Moran took over the top spot, ending Moyna's tournament with a 4th-place finish and a $39,000 payday.
Just barely edged out there, but he did a great job of fishing today.
Yeah, you know, every day I went out, I didn't know if I was really going to catch them or not, and lo and behold, it seemed to work out pretty good. I was really, after the last 2 days with the clear skies, calm conditions, I was barely getting enough bites, and today I probably caught about 10 or 11 keepers, so it was kind of fun out there today.
All right, did a great job here. Jim Moyna from Minnesota. Let's give a good round of applause.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 6 of our anglers have weighed out, 4 remain, and we will cut it down to 2 when we come back on FLW Outdoors. Welcome back to the prestigious Walmart Open, coming to you from Rogers, Arkansas. $200,000 awaits our winner. Let's take a look at our leaderboard right now. We've had some changing. Russ Moran is out on front, out on top, 18 pounds 9 ounces, followed by Jim Moyna, who just weighed out with 18 pounds and 3 ounces. Then there's Rock Monteith, Aaron Martins, and Dan Moorhead, who still has yet to weigh in any fish. In 6th place, Randall Hudson, Rick Clunn, Scott Martin, Jim Akins, and Wesley Burnett. Our Taylor Carr is out in the audience with someone who you just saw in the last commercial break.
She's the star of the Land O'Lakes commercial. We just had to make a switcheroo and send Sarah over to sit with Dan because she was crying, Jenny.
If it's not Daddy, she's not going to sit near a man, and he would prefer it that way.
This is Jenny Moorhead. Now, Dan has had a special year this year. He is in the lead for Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year. What has he done differently this year?
You know, he's practiced more, he's gotten more settled, and he finally realized that he can compete with all the good ones out there. He enjoys their company, and he can compete with them, and he's finally mentally ready to do it.
He seems so focused and optimistic. I'll ask you, will he win Angler of the Year?
Well, he thinks so, and if he thinks so, so do I.
The Moorhead cheering camp going strong, Carlton.
As the weigh-in resumed, we saw the first of Randall Hudson's fish. The Missouri pro, who always does well at Beaver Lake, used 4 fish to take the lead from Russ Moran, who had weighed all 5 of his fish. The rookie from Tennessee was out with a 3rd-place finish.
Man, you started like a house on fire and kept it going all the way.
I think I wore my rabbit's foot down to the claws today.
This is Tennessee's Russ Moran. He was the leader after day 1, the leader after day 2. He's currently in 3rd place, entering day 4, just under 4 pounds off the lead. Now, Russ, this is your best start ever in an FLW event. This has to be a great confidence boost, making the top 10 in the Walmart Open.
Yeah, it is. It really, I think that in this sport, there's nothing more important than confidence. And after the year I started with, this right here, it really does a lot for my confidence.
How deep have you found the fish?
Anywhere from 7 to 9 feet. Usually about 8 foot deep. This crankbait will run on a long cast on an 8-pound line. You can get her down about 8 foot. And that seems to be where my bites are coming from.
And are you trying to bump that off of?
Hang on just a minute, let me catch this fish. That's a little spot. Okay, what was you saying? Both hooks come out of him just as soon as he hit the floor.
That's when you know that fortune's smiling on you.
Be 12 inches, little baby. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's quite all right. Well, now, have you been finding that bouncing the crankbait off the bottom is the key, or is it just the movement of the bait itself?
As the bigger fish, if it's hitting something, yeah, that's when they get you biting. I've been right behind me right here in this timber. That's, I got hung on a piece of that timber the other day, and when I popped the bait off, when it come loose, I good and grabbed it. And then yesterday, Dan Moorhead told me that one of his better fish come like that. He was hung on a rock and was popping it, and the fish took it off the rock. So I'm trying to get hung up all I can.
With Moran gone, the championship was now down to 3 anglers, and Dan Moorhead was about to take it down to 2. The Evinrude Pro only needed 3 fish to retake the lead with 21 pounds 7 ounces. Too much for Aaron Martins to overcome. The California Pro's 5th fish was not enough, and Martins ended in 5th place.
This is Castaic, California's Aaron Martins, one of many anglers on the FLW Tour who honed his skills on the western waters. And Aaron, you have found Beaver Lake to be to your liking. Is it similar to some of the waters you fished growing up?
Yeah, it's real similar. The watercolor, the way the fish are, the depth, got some good depth on it. Just minus the trees, it's just like some of the lakes I grew up fishing.
You got off to a very good start this morning. Tell us what happened.
I'm pretty sure it's my second cast. I caught about a 4-pounder. Oh! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about, man. That's a good way to start it down, the second cast. Holy cow! Oh, man. It doesn't get better than that. I felt him inhale that bait. That's a keeper, man. Yeah. Oh. That's a 4-pounder, man. What I need, exactly what I need. I need to catch up. I felt the tick and it went slack. You feel a slack on line, it's all this. I'm like, oh God, it's a big one. He felt bigger than that, man.
Your wife comes out on tour with you, and pretty soon you're going to be fishing for 3.
Yeah. I feel like I'm fishing for 3 right now.
That's right.
Yeah, she's 5 months pregnant, so it's a pretty exciting time. Luckily, the season will be over by the time she gives birth, so I'll be able to spend a lot of time with her in the last month or 2 and be able to enjoy that moment.
He can do good about anywhere, anytime. Let's give him a good round of applause. He did a great job here.
All right, 8 anglers are down. Our champion of the 2003 Walmart Open will be either Dan Moorhead or Randall Hudson. Just 2 pounds separates our final 2 finalists. We will crown a winner when we come back on FLW Outdoors. FLW Outdoors is brought to you by Frito-Lay, food for the fun of it. By Eagle Electronics, successful fishing made simple. And by Minn Kota, anywhere, anytime. Welcome back to FLW Outdoors. We are at the moment of truth. Our leader is Dan Moorhead with 21 pounds 7 ounces. Randall Hudson is the only other finalist who can possibly catch Dan and take the title away. Everyone else has weighed out, starting with Russ Moran in 3rd place, Jim Moyna in 4th, and Aaron Martins. That's your top 5. Then it's Rock Monteith, Rick Clunn, Scott Martin, Jim Akins, and Wesley Burnett. Charlie Evans is with our leader right now.
Dan Moorhead from Paducah, Kentucky, the winner of a Kentucky Lake event. This would be your 2nd win if you can pull it off, but you got stiff competition next door.
Well, yeah, I do. I've known Randall for a long time, and he's a very good fisherman. He excels well in the finesse type tournaments, so I'm looking forward to it.
It is going to be a shootout here down to our final 2. How are the nerves?
Oh, I'm fine. This is my 3rd top 10, and
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
3 out of 4 is not bad. This has been a year that I hope I never wake up. Whatever I'm doing, I hope I keep doing it, and just ride it right on into the Jacobs Cup.
Charlie Hoover and I talked about that momentum thing. Isn't it like 99% mental, you think?
I really, truly do. You know, I shoot a lot of professional archery, and I really got heavy into it during the winter, and archery is 100% mental. And I believe that's one of the things that helped me out the most. I can stay focused even if something bad happens or adversity. Stay focused, stay in the zone, and make things happen.
Dan Moorhead didn't use too much fuel in his Evinrude outboard. Each day he made a 15-second run from launch, fishing inside of his truck and trailer most of the time. Though the travel time was small, his fish were large. Dan Moorhead is a competitor. He is not satisfied with merely making his third top 10 in 4 events in 2003, and he's not satisfied with adding to his already commanding season points lead. Dan Moorhead wants to win, and he took first place on day 3 yesterday, holding a 9-ounce lead over Randall Hudson. Dan, it seems to be working well for you, and this seems to be a good spot for you. 18 keepers yesterday.
Well, I caught those fish in several different places. I did catch 4 quality fish here, and I just lost a real good one and caught a real good one. So it's a good spot. I plan to hit it several times today, let it rest and come back. But no, we're on a mission. I've got a lot of work to do today, and I'm not going to stop, not going to rest until the mission's done. So yeah, I can't complain. It's a good year.
How do you keep that competitive edge tournament to tournament and day by day within each tournament?
It's just a burning fire, you know. I mean, it's the competitive edge. Right now, I'm on top of my game, and I've never been so focused before in my life. I can see things happen before they do, and just make them happen.
What bait are you using, and why is that working for you?
Well, I've spent pretty much all the practice and all of the tournament throwing a crankbait. It's a man's crankbait, -8. It's a new bait they've got out. I'm throwing it on real light line, trying to get it deep. It's a small profile bait, but it dives pretty deep. And I've just been covering a lot of water. You know, it allows me to cover a lot of water and keeping the bait down there in contact with the rocks. That seems to be the key.
Yesterday, you told the story about how you got hung up and a fish actually helped you get unhung by biting the bait.
Yeah, that was actually right here on this spot. I was hung up on a rock and was trying to pop the bait free, and one took it off the rock for me, and I caught him. So I appreciated that. I needed the fish, and I didn't want to lose my bait, so that was kind of nice.
It's nice when the fish show you that kind of respect.
Isn't it so? You know you're on your game when they do that for you. That's right, boys. Let me hear some cheering. Come on, work with me. That's right. That's what it's all about.
Sounds like we're having fun out there.
Who's your daddy?
Dan Moorhead from Duke, Kentucky, sitting here just a little bit on the nervous side. We got the only man that can beat him here, Carlton Wings, with him.
All right, I'm with Randall Hudson. Now, Randall knows a lot about Beaver Lake. This is a lake you excel in. You finished second here last year, and you are either first or second this year as well. What is it about Beaver Lake?
Well, I just like it. I live right next to it, for one thing, and it's got clear water, dirty water, rocks, gravel, sand. It's got a little everything.
We are in Hickory Creek, and we found Randall Hudson. He's in the Rubbermaid boat. And Randall, you must really love this area. You got guys putting boats in, you got the radio from the marina, you got crappie fishermen. What about this area is so special?
They turn a lot of fish loose here. They have tournaments here a lot, and besides all that, I've been catching some here. That's what I like about it.
There are 3 Missouri guys in the finals. Does that local knowledge help?
Sometimes, and then sometimes it can be a deficit. You know, you get to, if you're struggling a little bit, your mind starts working. You say, well, I know a better spot on the other end of the lake. Next thing you know, you spend all your time running, and I've done that too many times.
Now, you came through here with the jerkbait, and you're going back now with the jig. Tell me what your thinking is.
Well, in the mornings, I feel like there's some fish up shallow on this rock ledge, and there has been every morning except yesterday. And I have managed to catch 1 keeper and 1 small Kentucky, and lost a good fish. So the sun's getting up. I'm going to slow down and go to the jig now.
You have only 9 ounces to make up. What is your goal for the day?
I'd like to repeat yesterday. I'd love to repeat yesterday and take my chances. You know, Dan's a whale of a fisherman, and he's on a streak now that won't quit, but whatever happens is going to happen, and I'm just going to fish my best.
Dan Moorhead is the leader. He leads by 1 pound and 11 ounces. Randall Hudson has weighed in 4 fish and trails by that 111. That's what we'll need from Randall Hudson. If he has it, we will go to Dan Moorhead. If he does not have any fish, Dan Moorhead is our champion of the 2003 Walmart Open. Dan Moorhead.
Dan Moorhead has fish left.
Dan did it with just 3 fish today.
Well, he's got more than 3.
Let's bring him up to the scales and get a final weight for Dan Moorhead, the 2003 champion of the Walmart Open.
Let's weigh that big one first. This anchors his string. This huge one weighs in at, just so you'll know, 4 pounds, 11 ounces. The 2 remaining fish weigh together a total of 7 pounds, 1 ounce, puts him up over. What a tremendous tournament.
All righty, Dan, let's come to the front of the stage here. We have a big presentation that I know you have been waiting for all year long.
Congratulations, Dan Moorhead. On behalf of all the Walmart associates throughout the nation, Dan, we'd like to congratulate you and present you with this check for $200,000 as this year's winner of the Walmart Open.
And now we have the trophy presentation by Matt Lovelace, who's store manager for store number 1 here in Rogers.
Dan, congratulations, you and your family. Great job. Here's the trophy. On behalf of all the great associates here at Store 1, congratulations, my friend. Way to go. You bet.
Here's the big hardware, folks. Amazing. $200,000 champion. You have been working for this, 3 top 10s in this year, and you finally pulled it together here on Beaver Lake.
Well, if you're going to do one, this is the best one to do it at if it's not the Jacobs Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your champion of the 2003 Walmart Open, Dan Moorhead. Be sure to tune in next week on FLW Outdoors when Larry Nixon joins us to review this incredible championship. And also for the latest information on all the family of FLW Outdoors tournaments, log on to FLWOutdoors.com. Thanks for watching this week on FLW Outdoors.
There's a $200,000 fish. Hooey, boys.
Yeah, she's got a little plump going to her. He scars!